Right now at 5, Newton County, Missouri authorities arrest a man wanted for a fatal stabbing in Jasper County.
And we've got ourselves a pretty decent start to the day. It's going to get windy and it's going to get cool. We'll take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the city of Pittsburgh discusses its recently installed license plate recognition cameras.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is finally Friday in the 4 states. We've made it to Friday.
I'm ready for it.
Oh, man, me too. And I'll be honest now, by the time I got home, yesterday kind of felt like Friday. I think it's because we didn't have the noon.
Yes.
And,
which we don't have today as well.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Just a quick reminder, we do not have the KOAM news at noon today because of March Madness. But yesterday, that kind of threw everything off, getting out early. The kids are on spring break, at least Joplin schools are on spring break. So everyone's home. I'm home early. And it really started to feel like Friday. Like I almost did not go to bed on time because it felt like Friday. But it's not. It wasn't. But now it is. Now you can stay up.
It's here.
You can. And it is. And it is going to be a good day initially, and then we have a cold front that's going to push through this afternoon. And like I said, the temperatures don't necessarily plummet behind this front, which is good, but the winds are going to pick up, and it is going to get colder behind this cold front. That's why they call it a cold front. All right, our camera downtown Joplin on the Cornell complex looking pretty good. All right, for the time being, we still have winds out of the south, but once that front pushes through, they will shift out of the north. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking back to the west. Looks pretty good this morning as we get our day underway. Looks pretty empty. It's always a little eerie. In Joplin, 53 degrees, a little cooler in Pittsburgh right now, sitting at 48. And I filled out. No, we're not that. My goodness, it is Friday. It's been, okay. I'm getting tired now. All right, we're going to get to it. I'm so sorry. Temperatures. Low to mid 40s off to the north, and as you head a little further south and east, we're a little bit warmer out there. We've got temperatures into the low to mid 50s across parts of the area. This is what I thought I missed, and here it is. It's right where it's supposed to be. I just haven't had my coffee yet. 49 when the kids get on the bus this morning. Mostly cloudy skies, southeast breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour when the bus brings the kids home today. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies. We'll have a few isolated showers, and at this point I want to stress these showers are going to be fairly isolated. Most of us will not see rain, but there will be a few of them out there. Northwest wind now 5 to 15, gusting to 20, 66 depending on where you are. That's the difficulty with the cold front is some of you will start to cool back a little earlier than this. So we're giving you the average, but ahead of the front, we're going to be 66 by 3, 54 by 6, and the winds will really start to pick up this evening, gusting out of the north-northwest at about 30 miles an hour. Will be mostly cloudy through the day, and again, a few isolated showers along that front, and it'll start pushing through, say, about 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. We'll have more on that front, those isolated showers, and some storms we're watching this weekend in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. Newton County, Missouri authorities capture a murder suspect following a manhunt. Scott Burleson was wanted for the March 2nd stabbing death of Seth Langford. Burleson had evaded police several times before, but yesterday afternoon, the Newton County Sheriff's Office caught him and took him into custody without incident. He faces charges of second-degree murder, first-degree robbery, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. Authorities in McDonald County this morning got reports Burleson had stolen a pickup in southwest Missouri. Then yesterday afternoon, he led authorities on a chase into Newton County before being arrested along a wooded area near Jute Road. McDonald County, Missouri authorities yesterday announced the conclusion of a 33-year-old cold case. In 1990, a couple walking on Oscar Talley Road in the southwest part of the county found the decomposing body of a woman. Investigators began referring to the woman as Grace Doe until 2021, when they used advanced DNA testing and discovered the body was that of Shauna Garber, who had been living in northeast Oklahoma. Yesterday, they announced they've identified a now deceased suspect in Garber's murder, Talfi Rivas, who was well known to local law enforcement.
It feels good. It felt great when we identified her and able to lay her to rest with the family. It feels great to have a suspect and know who did it.
Rivas died in November 2021, and you can find much more information on this case on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A third adult has been charged in connection with the fatal shooting and the wounding of at least 25 others during the celebration of the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory. This man, Terry Young, faces multiple charges, including second-degree murder, unlawful use of a weapon, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. During the rally following the Chiefs Super Bowl victory, Young and 2 other individuals approached another person. A verbal argument commenced and one individual pulled out a gun. Young responded by pulling out a gun and advancing toward the individual. Surveillance video shows Young appearing to shoot several times. One woman, Lisa Lopez Galvin, was killed during the incident in addition to the dozens injured. Authorities say due to the scope of the investigation, additional charges are still expected. The Red Cross offers its assistance after a fire destroys an apartment building in Chanute, Kansas, and leaves 1 person dead. Authorities say the Cornerstone Apartments caught fire around 1 yesterday morning. All 24 units of the complex were occupied at the time. When first responders arrived, they found the south half of the building fully engulfed. Officials evacuated the building, but numerous people were injured and 1 person has died. Red Cross disaster workers were at the Chanute City Park Pavilion until 6 yesterday evening to provide their services to families in need. The organization says residents who still need assistance should call 1-800-RED Cross. The city of Pittsburgh is the most recent one in the area to install cameras to recognize license plates of stolen vehicles and wanted suspects. The technology is already being used in 7 Southeast Kansas law enforcement agencies and Jasper County, Missouri. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
Pittsburgh citizens have seen 14 cameras like this one being put up around the city. The equipment raised concerns for some of the residents who shared their thoughts on social media. "I hope it's not so they can start charging us for driving on the highways," wrote one. "They want to track our every move," said another one. "Unconstitutional. Looks like Big Brother." KOAM spoke to the Pittsburgh Deputy Chief of Police to address these concerns and understand how the flock cameras work.
One of the speculations that we've heard is obviously privacy concerns a big deal, but this is going to be more of a societal question than it is our question to ask. Right now the cameras are available as a technology, and they've been shown to actually help detect and reduce crime.
According to the Pittsburgh Deputy Chief of Police, the camera captures a one-time snapshot of vehicles. The system keeps the images for 30 days. The equipment looks to see if that particular license plate number has been entered into the National Crime Information Center. They want to check if the license plate number is associated with a wanted person, a stolen motor vehicle or license plate, a missing person alert, or some other alert that a law enforcement agency has entered into NCIC. Henderson says that if the license plate is flagged when checked against the national database, an immediate notification is sent to the city's dispatch center. If the car is not listed on the database,
the car drives by and it still gets an image of the vehicle, it still runs the license plate and gets an image of that vehicle, but it does nothing beyond that.
He also emphasized that the cameras don't do facial recognition and are not designed or intended to be used for traffic enforcement. The sample was shared with our team by the Allen County Sheriff's Office, which already uses the flock cameras as an extra resource. Have it helped the city of Pittsburgh already with any?
We're kind of doing a soft rollout with this internally, trying to just kind of build up the system, get used to it, figure out the best methodology for using it. But in that soft rollout, we've identified a couple stolen motor vehicles already, and at least I think one stalking incident. So it's proving very beneficial to us already.
He said the cameras are based outskirts of town, trying to catch vehicles coming in mostly. In Pittsburgh, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
According to the Deputy Chief of Police, the money used for that investment comes from the public safety sales taxes. Pittsburgh and the company Flock Group are currently on a 2-year contract, and after that period, they'll decide whether the system fits their needs. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. It's day 1 of March Madness has already given us plenty of highlights. We'll have the details. Plus, Russia aborts the launch of 3 astronauts to the International Space Station moments before they were scheduled to lift off. And rain chances stick around for today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Your perfect smile at Modern Dentistry and Cosmetics in Joplin.
Feel right at home. Ritz, a taste of welcome.
Well, yesterday was another Thunder Thursday. It's an exciting time for fans, not only of college basketball, but also of the NBA. The Thunder are idle yesterday evening, but thanks to a 3-game winning streak, they currently sit alone in first place atop the Western Conference. The Nuggets are just a half game behind, though. If they beat the Knicks, they'll be tied with OKC. Next chance to watch the Thunder on our air is tonight. They play the Raptors at 6 on Fox 14. Fans of WWE SmackDown will see that programming in its entirety after our newscast. Baseball season is in full swing. Yesterday afternoon, a few of our Southeast Kansas schools play their first games of the year. Parsons Baseball opens the season on the road at Columbus, who's coming off a state runner-up finish last year. Landon Rowland on the hill for the Vikings. He's locked in, bottom of the first. Rowland gets a strikeout looking. Then again, he freezes the next batter and gets a strikeout swinging to end the frame. Top of the second, the Vikings bats heat up. Bases loaded, and J.J. Kendrick skies one out left field. It'll drop down. A run comes in to score. Another fielding error leads to 3 more Viking runs. That lead is plenty big for Rowland. Bottom of the second, he's still humming along. First batter goes down swinging, then looking, and he strikes out the side again. Rowland goes 5 2/3, strikes out 10, and the Vikings win on the road 6-3. In Pittsburgh, the Purple Dragons are home hosting Paola at JC Ballpark. For the first 6 innings, this game was a pitcher's duel as Webb Fern gets the hitter looking in the third. Then it's Fern who gets a swing and a miss to end the inning. Then Fern closes out the 5th with another swing and a miss. He goes the complete game, only giving up 3 hits. In the top of the 6th, no score. Runner on third base with 1 out. Jet Burgess makes the play with the glove and fires a perfect throw to get the runner out at home plate. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Jaden Brown checks, swings, but the ball stays fair down the line. Burgess hustles home and is safe at home plate, and that breaks the scoreless tie. Pittsburgh leads 1-0. Go to the top of the 7th, last chance for Paola. Weston Rink charges the ball and makes the play. Pittsburgh goes on to win the tight game 1-0. Pittsburgh State men's basketball Max Alexander announced yesterday on social media that he will enter the transfer portal. Alexander averaged over 14 points per game this season. That's the 3rd best on the team. His freshman year, Alexander appeared in only 2 games before missing the rest of the season with an injury. The 5'11 guard has 3 years of NCAA eligibility remaining. Day 1 of March Madness has already given us plenty of highlights. Early yesterday afternoon, 11 seed Duquesne puts the finishing touches on an upset of 6 seed BYU. The 3-point win is the Duke's first NCAA tournament victory since 1969. It's not the only 11 seed to beat a 6. Oregon has no problem with South Carolina winning by 14. And then Dayton, who trailed by 17 points in the second half, comes roaring back to beat Nevada by 3. The Flyers go on a 24-4 scoring run to keep their season alive and advance to the round of 32. And here's the biggest upset yet. 14 seed Horizon League champion Oakland takes down 3 seed Kentucky 80-76. It's the Golden Grizzlies' second tournament win in program history. Still to come, Medicare could soon start covering the weight loss prescription drug Wegovy. We'll have the latest on that and check of your forecast when we come back.
Life's better when you're under our roof. Guess that's what. Bundle your home and auto insurance today.
Nominate your Ford State hero today.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:19 on this finally Friday. And boy, Friday, we've had a pretty good week this week. We've had calmer weather. The winds finally gave us a break. It was warm. It's been pleasant. Friday, when it's supposed to be the pinnacle and be a just fantastic day, it's going to throw a little curveball at us. Let's take a look at all of that. First, we're going to start by taking a tour outside. Right now, our camera, downtown Joplin-Cordell Complex, saw a southeasterly breeze out there for the time being. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, looking back to the west. I like this shot. It's pretty nice. It's been a little out of focus the last few days. That's why we haven't pulled it up. But today I looked on here and I said, man, that is actually the crispest shot looking out there that I've seen, and it looks kind of cool, honestly. 69 and East 520th Avenue, KDOT camera located there, also showing us relatively decent conditions out there. As we end the afternoon, we're going to get this cold front. Now, ahead of it, we're looking to make about the upper 60s out there. Some of us may kind of top out right in the mid-60 range or very close to before that front starts to make its way through the area. As it does, the winds are going to shift out of the north. They're going to start to pick up, and then we're going to see these gusts increasing to about 30 miles an hour through the evening hours. And as you can see, isolated showers, and we're talking extraordinarily isolated showers possible along this front. Most of us are going to remain dry, but will be mostly cloudy through the day ahead of that. Still breezy overnight, but the winds will start to ease up a bit by tomorrow morning. But take a look at these lows. We're falling back into the mid to upper 30s for most of us. Some of us may even fall back into the low 30s, so do be aware of that. And outside of that, though, our Saturday looks pretty good. Future track showing a couple of showers. I think in all honesty, we're going to remain dry out there, but we're going to see clouds increase again on our Saturday and go from clear to partly cloudy and ultimately mostly cloudy. Now, Joplin right now, it's cloudy, 53, but as mentioned, similarly yesterday, we've got this cloud barrier on the Skywatch storm tracker, so points north and west of here currently have clear skies. Southeast breeze at 5 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region a little warmer to the south. You see we've got these low to mid 50s out here, and as you kind of go up and around, we've got low to mid 40s, but again, not a bad start to the day whatsoever. Will be mostly cloudy, about 58 by 11 o'clock this morning, and as we head into the afternoon, some isolated showers, otherwise mostly cloudy, and most of us going for highs into the upper 60s ahead of that front. Excuse me. Now keep in mind, again, as we mentioned yesterday, we've got a 15 county area over 4 different states. And when a cold front, something that's going to drop temperatures or make kind of those changes, I can't build 100 graphics to break down the timing on that change for every county out there. This is an average of this front rolling through the area. Some of you will start falling back a little earlier as that front rolls through. And we'll start to go partly cloudy overnight and breezy. Again, those winds gusting to 30 blows back into the 30s across the area. The other thing we're watching is Sunday. Another front out there, another system. We've got showers and thunderstorms out to our west, and those are expected to make it into our area late Sunday night into early Monday morning before they'll start to clear out. And right now, there is a low-end severe threat with that for parts of southeast Kansas and into northeastern Oklahoma. You can see it's just skirting our western counties out here as we head into Sunday, and this will be Sunday night into Monday morning. But we'll keep an eye on that. But the good news is right now, it is a low risk for some strong storms out there Sunday night. So again, we'll keep an eye on that for you. All right, looking ahead, 61 on Sunday, 57 on Saturday, 62 Monday, much cooler Tuesday. It's going to be our coldest day, down into the 20s Monday night, 47 Tuesday afternoon, and watching more thunderstorm chances by next Thursday, and a little cooler heading into Easter weekend into the 50s and 60s. That's a long check of your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Hey, 4 States, Chris here with Windows and More, where we're still the area.
Now there's the culinary collection. Italian herb for pasta, smoky chipotle for fajitas. It's like the deliciousness never ends. Make everything better with Better Than Bouillon.
Topping Health Watch this morning. Medicare could soon start covering the weight loss prescription drug Wegovy. That's because the FDA has approved a drug maker Novo Nordisk's application to add cardiovascular benefits to the medicine's label. The Medicare approval would only be for certain senior citizens and other beneficiaries with a history of heart disease. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services said it informed insurers that provide Medicare Part D drug plans that they could cover Wegovy. It's after the FDA expanded the approval this month. By law, Medicare is not allowed to cover drugs for chronic weight management. However, this change is possible if the same medication also receives FDA approval to reduce the risk of heart attacks, stroke, and other major adverse cardiovascular events. It can be added to Medicare Part D plans for people with established heart disease. Well, in Georgia, Thursday, state Senate Republican lawmakers and a legislative committee shot down an effort to expand Medicaid. The Democratic plan would have increased the number of people eligible. Abby Kasouris reports.
Out of more than 400,000 Georgians without insurance, more than 30,000 of those are veterans.
In my case, they handed me a folder with some x-rays and some notes, and they said, good luck.
Boyd Stowe says after 4 years serving in Afghanistan, he found himself in the coverage gap, not making enough to afford health care but not qualifying for the state plan. He pushed off needed surgeries and medications for years.
And what do you do when you don't have insurance? You don't take action, right? You minimize, you mitigate, you clamp down.
The new plan, called the Peach Care Plus Act, would expand coverage to Georgians in the gap. Right now, you can qualify for the state's Georgia Pathways program if you are living below the poverty level, $30,000 or less for a family of 4. This new bill would require the state's Department of Community Health extend coverage to people living at or below 138% of the poverty level, roughly $41,000 or less for the same family.
But I need y'all support to pass this.
Democrat Senator David Lucas estimates the plan would cost $500 million a year. Roughly $1.2 billion of federal funds are earmarked for the state. Republican senators want to wait on a commission report looking at care options.
I think a lot of this is fluid, and because of the public health emergency, I think we need to give this just a little more time.
All in favor, raise your hand.
The new bill didn't pass. A 7-7 vote today means the measure fails. But Republicans like Senator Matt Brass' vote of support leaves the door open for next year.
What we're doing so far just hasn't seemed to work.
Georgia Democrats say they plan to bring back the bill next year. Now to look at some of today's top health stories, you're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a relatively decent start to the day out there. Cold front on the way. The latest on that forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, area high schoolers flocked to Crowder College yesterday for the school's Aggie Day.
And we've got ourselves a pretty decent start to the day out there. We're going to take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Spiva Center for the Arts is welcoming in spring with a celebration of the art of floral design.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Friday in the 4 states.
I'm excited.
I'm so just happy that it's Friday.
Yes.
Some kids in spring break. I know some had it last week. My kids have had it this week. So kids, we've got some things planned. Just a couple of little local trips. Nothing significant. Things cost a lot of money these days.
Yes,
and
they
kids
do.
cost a lot of money these days.
Yes, they do. Oh, my goodness.
But we've got a couple of things planned, but it's also a reminder you've only got a few more days left. You gotta go back to school. I know, that's got to be distressing.
Soak it up.
And we're not in that period of winter storms or anything. Not like Christmas break where it went on for like another 2 weeks because it was cold and snowy. Nothing like that in our forecast today. In fact, we're looking pretty good today. We do have a cold front, but it's not bringing snow with it, at least not for us, and that's some good news. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking pretty good so far this morning. It's looking back to the west, down 32nd Street out there. We are sitting at 53 in Joplin, 47 down in up in Pittsburgh. Depends on where you live. If you're in Fort Scott, then it'd be down in Pittsburgh, but you get the idea. And otherwise, it's not that bad. Now, we're a little cooler in some of our northern counties. That's always the case. It's almost going up to Minnesota in our northern counties. because it's a little cooler up there for some reason every morning, 40s up there. And as you head further south, and especially down into Oklahoma and Arkansas, parts of southwest Missouri, look at those temperatures, mid-50s out there as we get our day underway. On the average, about 49, mostly cloudy skies when kids get on the bus this morning. Southeast breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we head into the afternoon, that bus brings them home. Mostly cloudy as that cold front pushes through. Isolated showers will be possible. I think most of us are going to remain dry, but that is a chance out there. Northwest wind 5 to 15, gusting to 20. And behind that front, we could see gusts upwards of 30 miles an hour. So as we head into the evening and overnight, those winds will really ramp up out there. We're going to spend most of the day mostly cloudy. We're looking at highs ahead of the front, right around the upper 60s out there before that front starts to bring temperatures down. Now, the good news is they don't plummet, but it will get much colder as we head into the overnight hours. We'll have more details on that and some weekend storms we're watching in the full forecast a little later. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, preschoolers at Park Elementary in Columbus took part in their annual Tricathon. The event is organized by Cindy Wells, a former teacher at Park Elementary. Wells has been putting on this event along with raising money every year for the St. Jude Children's Hospital in Memphis. The event was organized after Wells' son, Dylan, lost his battle with cancer in 2005. Her goal is to draw the whole community into the event, even the kids.
Tomorrow, kindergarten and first graders are going to do a little walkathon, and they're going to walk around the square in Columbus and do a little chant. So they're going to do their walking for recess and PE time, and then they're going to sing for music, and just getting all the businesses uptown to realize that these kids are doing something good for the community and for kids their age.
So far, this year's fundraiser has raised nearly $1,100. Cindy says she started this in the community and has raised a total of over $100,000. KOAM's very own Tanya Bach had a cup of conversation with Pittsburgh residents at the Pittsburgh Public Library. The event allows residents to hear from Tanya firsthand about working at KOAM and how she balances that with her personal life. Those who attended were able to hear stories of Tanya's childhood all the way to where she is now.
Because I see her on TV all the time, it's nice to hear her talk in person and see what all she's doing and what's going on, not only with the TV station, her job, but her personal life, what she likes to do.
The next Cup of Conversation will be on April 18th, where those who attend can meet Morning Sun General Manager Justin Crane. Area high schoolers flocked to Crowder College yesterday for the school's Aggie Day. The event brings together future Farmers of America students to compete in 15 contests. Around 1,800 students took part, judged by local FFA instructors and community volunteers.
I've been here for 15 Aggie Days. I can already see a giant change in how students are prepared to come to these contests. I think that they are exposed to more material, they have access, they have technology, they have ways that they can study on their phone as they're going, on the bus up and down the road or whatever. They have ways that they can study that are different than maybe just rock and chisel times from before.
On top of the 1,800 students, 300 more people were involved in putting on the competition. The Spiva Center for the Arts is welcoming in spring with a celebration of the art of floral design. They kicked off the exhibit with an event yesterday to showcase the pictures of flowers. Those photos are part of a 3-day-long exhibit titled Spiva in Bloom.
We'd love the community to see that, art is in every single form and every single profession. If you say you're not creative, you're not right. You're definitely creative. So we just want to celebrate these florists because they're usually behind the scenes, and this is just a really great way for us to spotlight this profession and their art.
Later today, the center will host events surrounding the exhibit, including a maker's market and a floral workshop. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A volcano in southwestern Iceland is still erupting, sending lava toward a nearby community. Plus, Florida governor is making preparations for a possible influx of Haitian migrants. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Community service.
Topping World Watch. Russia aborts the launch of 3 astronauts to the International Space Station moments before they were scheduled to lift off. The launch was aborted by an automatic safety system about 20 seconds prior to liftoff. No cause was given, but officials say the crew is safe. The Russian Soyuz rocket was going to carry NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson, Russian cosmonaut Oleg Novitsky, and Marina Velizevskaya of Belarus. This wasn't the first mishap for the Russian space program. In 2018, a launch failure happened when a Soyuz rocket carrying NASA astronaut Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexei Ovchinin failed 2 minutes after launch, resulting in the rescue capsule making a steep ride to a safe landing. A volcano in southwestern Iceland is still erupting, and that's sending lava towards a nearby community. The eruption is considered stable, and currently the new lava field is not threatening infrastructure. The volcano has erupted 3 times in December, January, and February. The eruptions may continue for a while. The community of Grindavik, about 30 miles southwest of Iceland's capital, was evacuated in January before the last eruption started. And one of Iceland's biggest tourist attractions, the nearby Blue Lagoon geothermal spa, was evacuated again this week. Dozens of Palestinians desperate to get their hands on some cash have been crowding outside a closed branch of the Bank of Palestine in central Gaza, waiting to use the only functioning ATM. The war in Gaza has left some banks shut down and others limiting their services. The situation has compounded the poverty and misery of the Palestinians. Some of the people waiting in line say they stood there since sunrise. The war has made banking more complicated. Many people who want to withdraw money have to transfer it to exchange offices and pay withdrawal fees that are high, sometimes reaching 19%. Efforts to continue to get U.S. citizens out of Haiti. The State Department says it has evacuated 99 Americans from the troubled country yesterday. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is making preparations for a possible influx of Haitian migrants seeking to escape their nation's growing political and social problems. Correspondent Dana Marie McNichol has a bird's eye view of the operation in Martha, Florida.
The State Department's mission to rescue Americans trapped in Haiti is underway, with 30 Americans expected to be airlifted to the Dominican Republic daily. This afternoon, a chartered flight with more than 60 people landed in Miami. Over 160 U.S. citizens have been evacuated so far. A flight sponsored by the state of Florida with 14 Floridians arrived Wednesday.
We're finally reunited with Julian, our 2-year-old son. It took about 2.5 weeks, so the days were turning into weeks.
Florida is preparing for an influx of migrants, beefing up security to patrol the waters, hoping to send a message to Haitians considering fleeing to the United States.
It's not worth getting in a boat and doing that because the chance of you making it is very small. What's most likely to happen is you're going to get intercepted and go back.
Florida Fish and Wildlife say not a single Haitian boat has been spotted this year. The same mission continues in the air with the Florida Army National Guard.
Right now we're 500 feet above the Atlantic Ocean, just east of the Florida Keys. This helicopter is equipped with cameras that can quickly identify the boat and the passengers aboard the boat. This is all part of the Detect, Identify, and Report mission.
Hundreds of people from Haiti arrived in the Florida Keys in 2023. The Monroe County Sheriff says he is bracing for a similar surge and looking to the federal government for a plan.
How long would it take if I call and say I need more Border Patrol, I need transport? If I have 400 migrants, well, you know what? I need probably 8 large buses to transport them somewhere. I don't have 8.
The state of Florida has positioned law enforcement, National Guard, and supplies along the coast in anticipation of any Haitians arriving in Florida. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
This is Scott cleaning the outside glass easy breezy. Give us a call today to schedule your free at-home estimate. If you want the best for less, call Windows for Less.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:46 on this Friday morning. We're talking a cold front that's going to roll through this afternoon, bring us some much cooler temperatures. They won't plummet, but it'll be colder than what we've seen here lately. As we head into the afternoon, that front starts to make its way into our far northwestern counties. Ahead of it, a few isolated showers will be possible. I think most of us will remain dry, and the future track kind of giving you that idea as well, that most of us will remain dry. And as that front pushes through, winds will shift out of the north, and then they'll start gusting around 30 miles an hour, so it's going to feel a little bit chilly. As we head into our Saturday morning, we've got temperatures, some of us falling back into the low 30s, so do be prepared for that. And the thing is as cold as it's going to get tonight, it's not our coldest night in the forecast. As we head into our Saturday, initially we're going to be partly cloudy out there, and then we're going to see those clouds begin to increase as we head into the afternoon hours across the area. We're cloudy in Joplin right now, but as mentioned, looking at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you go back off to the northwest, say Independence, Chanute, Yates Center, Fort Scott, you've got mostly clear skies out there. 53 southeast breeze at about 5 miles an hour. Off to the north, because of those clear skies, no thermal blanket, so you can tell where the clouds are and where they're not, where it's a little cooler, low to mid 40s up to the north. Under the clouds, trapping in some of the warmer air from yesterday, and so we've got low to mid 50s out there for parts of northeastern Oklahoma and into Missouri and Arkansas. We're going to be mostly cloudy to start our day, make it to about 58 by 11 o'clock this morning. And then as we head into the afternoon, that front starts to approach. Now, again, remember, we do have a large coverage area here. So some of you, that front will start working through a little earlier, and you're going to start to fall back a little earlier than the rest of us do. But on average, we're looking at highs into the upper 60s, and we'll see a few isolated showers associated with that frontal passage. Heading into the evening, of course, temperatures continue to drop, and then those winds pick up, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. We're going to fall back into the 30s, and again, some of us up north may make it back into the low 30s overnight tonight. Then we're also watching thunderstorm chances as we head into our Sunday. So by Sunday afternoon, got another disturbance out to the west. That's going to fire off strong to severe thunderstorms out to our west on Sunday, and then that complex is going to make its way into our area by Sunday evening, overnight, and into early Monday morning across the area. And at least at this point, some of us may see a couple of strong storms with this activity as it rolls through Sunday night into Monday morning, and this is what it looks like on the severe storm tracker here. It's a low risk, maybe a couple of strong storms here, and it's out in the far western counties, but still getting into our area. So it's something that we'll keep an eye on, and you should keep an eye on, especially if you have some weekend plans out there. Just be prepared Sunday night into Monday morning for some strong thunderstorms, or at least some thunderstorms across the area. So just be ready for that. Otherwise, we're looking pretty good the next couple of days, just much cooler. 57 on Saturday, 61 Sunday, 62 Monday. As that system rolls through our Monday, these are going to be very early highs in the 60s. This is another frontal passage. This one's a little more potent, hence the stronger storms out to our west. We'll fall back into the 20s by Monday night. Tuesday, much cooler, only into the upper 40s. We'll warm up a little bit on Thursday with some additional thunderstorm chances with another system out there, and that puts us back into the low to mid 50s Friday and Saturday, back to the low 60s by next Sunday. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Get ready to enjoy the final year of the Joplin Memorial Run. Sign up today.
Interest for 72 months on select John Deere tractor packages. No kidding. Stop by your local Heritage Tractor today. Offer ends April 6, 2024.
Yesterday was a World Down Syndrome Day, a day to celebrate those with an extra chromosome. In Amanda, North Dakota, there's one high school senior who's showing what it means to be inclusive when he asked his friend who has Down syndrome to the prom. Jody Kurzman introduces us to the inspiring friend.
4 or 5.
Friends.
Put these fingers down.
Come in all shapes
Rock the world.
and sizes.
Rock the world.
John Bugby
Rock the world.
and Elena Tetzlaff are proof of that.
I'm 6'8".
And how tall do you think Elena is?
You're about what, 5'3", 5'2"? Yeah, her smile is about 6 feet tall. So.
It's a smile that brightens John's mood every time he sees Elena.
So she always picks up your day.
And it's that smile that inspired his pretty sweet promposal. John surprised Elena during Wade's class. when he asked her to be his prom date.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be John and Elena's second formal dance together. Earlier this winter, John escorted Elena to Snowball, living up to his nickname, the Big Friendly Giant.
Pretty suitable.
But John says he isn't really doing anything special.
Fist bump?
He's just looking forward to spending an evening with a good friend.
Yeah.
Sharing some laughs and maybe even inspiring acceptance, inclusiveness, and friendship.
Elena says she's excited to wear her hot pink prom dress to the prom on a Saturday night. We'll be right back.
Get lucky all March. Forum will be broadcast live. Be an informed voter and exercise your right to choose.
Well, some new arrivals at the Chester Zoo in the UK. 2 snow leopards, a male named Yashin and a female named Numbra, being welcomed at the zoo ahead of the opening of a new Himalayan habitat. The zoo says it's the first time in its 93-year history that snow leopards are being cared for there. The habitat is said to be authentic recreation, complete with rockery terrain mimicking the Himalayas. The snow leopard habitat will open to the public on Monday. And it's almost sandal weather, and that means it's time for some pedicures, especially for elephants. Elephants at a zoo in Germany were treated to a heavy-duty pedicure. It was part of their medical training ahead of the zoo's annual Elephant Day. The elephants are taught to lift their foot during their semi-spa treatment, and that helps zoo officials when they need to draw the animal's blood. Zoo officials say they used an angled grinder for important foot care. There are 10 elephants at the zoo Elephant Park, making it one of the largest facilities in its kind in Europe.
Well, those elephants especially getting some special treatment, and hey, I think we're all due for that, especially as things start to warm up. I was just thinking about my cat, and I really would like, don't make faces at me. I think about like sleeping in the sun, and sometimes that's a great thing to do. You need to position your couch in just the right spot, and lay there, take a nap in the sun, and just relax. And in the next few days, we'll have some opportunities to do that. Today, though, not so much sunshine. Mostly cloudy out there. 58 by 11 o'clock this morning. We have a cold front coming through. And again, to just reiterate, we do have a very large coverage area. So some of you, as that front rolls through, especially in our northwestern counties, say Yates Center, Humboldt, points north, you're going to get a little cooler a little faster than the rest of us, but we're looking at highs upper 60s out there. A few isolated showers will be possible along this front, and then behind the front, the winds are really going to pick up out of the north, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. We're going to fall back into the 30s, and again, some of our northwestern counties, you may go back into the low 30s as we head into tomorrow morning with those breezy winds. They'll ease up Saturday. We're going to be partly to mostly cloudy. We'll start the day relatively clear, though. It'll be a pretty decent start. Upper 50s, though, much cooler. Low 60s Sunday, watching that system for some strong thunderstorms Sunday night into Monday. And once it clears through, early highs Monday in the low 60s, and temperatures fall back into the 20s Monday night, upper 40s Tuesday, and then more storm chances next Thursday. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Rely on our years of experience at Bath Naylor